Today is day 20, Saquarema City, Tiny City. It's linked with Rio de Janeiro, both at the Rio de Janeiro Federative Unit inside Brazil that has problems. Problems since legal accomplished until the transparency of things they do not accomplish. But when they hadn't reason to justify mistakes, instead assume they commit more mistakes and put situations a bit worse. We will raise this board here, which was used at the past to understand the insider trading, the relation, artists, show business, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will work with the SAGE, which is the semi-automatic ground environment, was a project at the IBM in the very beginning of the 50s. At that time we had a common oriented business language, and we must have that we are working also with 100 years as program science. The SAGE is the semi-automatic ground environment. And we had at that time the COBOL as common oriented business language. The first thing we will observe is the SAGE has the ground environment linked with a hyphen. The COBOL oriented business linked with a hyphen. It's kind of the idea that we must understand. The ground environment indeed is very related with oriented business by code, because the ground environment as the SAGE was used to identify air flights that are not American or instrument or elements at the environment. If it's not a square, it's eliminated, but failured, because sometimes you could have this inside the environment, and the environment was, for instance, the air flight hitting the Twin Towers twice. Heritage process since this time, considering people on it, is a oriented business that you can codify nowadays by the corruption as purpose inside the process as heritage, considering the judicial system of United States to unveil the criminal purpose since the heritage until the entry as twice hitting element the Twin Towers. First use of the SAGE, optimized as HAGE, which is the rational, architecture, ground, environment, or rational, argument for gloomy event. Then we check on present time that we can use this at the conflict zone, not only on Europe, as you could observe that we have the area A, the area B, and the area mercenaries here, right? But also at the Middle East, when you had the area A, the area B, and the area group with interest or state ambition. This group as state ambition is indeed something like this, or something like this, or something like this. And the conflict with A will be kind of unveiling possibilities, at least as association. It be linked with this one, indeed will probably be exposing itself as C, which is the state ambition, not as B, not as A, but can drag probably elements as A and B. Corrupted both, the sage can understand that they both are not squares. They can be as C, a circle or a triangle, right? I'll go down here. But now we must have something a bit more specific using the oriented business language, observing that this codification, as you can observe, will give me the idea as the event war, the event war. Inside the event war, I have struggles or periods of struggle. Once in a while, if I have the continued, I will probably have the conflict of interest by circumstance. Considering this thing, and if it's unveiled as a conflict of interest during the struggle by the loss of integrity of two both, considering that this area here is an area with interest as itself and it's excluded of this reading, will unveil the treasonous act inside at least one of these two both guys here, as Palestine, which is a state, and Israel, which is a state. I respect both as a state, and their decision as keep or not the war belongs to both. The element with state ambition here can be, for instance, linked with another element with state ambition here, forming a new environment here as C. But this only will be unveiled after you understand that the reading we do as war is considering the struggle by and having the exclusion of the state ambition. The state ambition is inside a state that can be something linked with, something not exposed by, or something totally independent. For instance, by the Terror Act, if it's something totally independent, the situation must be put outside, and indeed, two states will be against the new group with state ambition. And this is the idea, and we are having the quantification and quantified things because we have very limited resources here and interference all the time. But I think that is quite clear enough how the Sage optimized in the COBOL with the new value helps to, get the ground traced and groom the event in the way you need. Have a nice weekend.